Hey y'all, hey. Grand Rising, good afternoon, good evening. Whatever time you click on this video is the right time for you. And I thank you in advance for your viewership and support. Today we're making, I want to say this is like an amendment because this name was added into the list, but for good cause. We're doing part 16, episode 16 with none other than the Queen Bee, Little Kim. I want to say about a week ago, Little Kim came forward and she spoke about Puff. She spoke about the way that he treated women and her having to help women get away from him. Now, for all of you who may not know or may not be aware of who Miss Jones is, Miss Jones currently is a very popular, successful radio DJ in New York. But before she became a radio DJ, she was a recording artist. One of her most popular songs that she was featured on was a song with AZ, Sugar Hill. And that song was everywhere. So fast forward, Miss Jones, I believe it was either, I think it was like a podcast. Either way, if you check YouTube, the video is out there. She talked about how Puffy was trying to, engage her. He was trying to push up on her. He wanted to get with her. She declined. He became very, very angry and persistent. He wouldn't take no for an answer. He started to become pushy and, violent, according to her account. And Little Kim intervened and told him to leave Jonesy alone. She don't hurt nobody. She ain't done nothing to nobody. And made Puffy back off of Miss Jones. And Miss Jones said that thanks to Little Kim saved her. It's no telling what Puffy would have done if it hadn't have been for Little Kim intervening on her behalf. So between Little Kim's account and Miss Jones' account, I felt that it was necessary to add Little Kim to Life After Puffy. So for all of you who didn't know that or may not have known about Miss Jones, I just had to give you the backstory to why I chose to add her to this, because this is bigger than just him not being there for her when she went to jail and then turning around and deciding to manage the very person who at that time was her arch nemesis, which is Nicki Minaj. So when you think about that, it helps you to understand the way that Puffy likes to intertwine himself and manipulate, and how strategic he can be while pretending to be oblivious. So if you think about, Kim went to prison 2009, dropped the naked truth while she was in prison. She did, what was it, like a year and a day in the feds for the whole jump off between her and Foxy down to the radio station that led to an altercation between men. Okay, it's like Foxy people, Kim people, they got their little situation going. Some, firearms came out, and Kim took the stand, refused to snitch, and ended up going to prison due to that. While she was in prison, Puffy never sent her a letter, or as they say in lockup, he ain't sent her a kite. He ain't put any money on her books. no phone calls, completely disconnected from her. And then he turned around and became a manager to the very person that she had one of the biggest back and forths with of her career. Now, we all know that Nikki worked with Puffy for about what, 2.5, 3 years? And then she also got away from him as well. Her own reasons. Some of those reasons came out in the Meek Mill's reading for Meek Mill. What is that? Life After Puffy, Meek Mills. So some of that came out there, and that was the other reason why I decided to add Kim to this series, because there was something that I saw in that reading that Kim confirmed. Y'all, Kim ain't never seen me. She don't know nothing about me. But when I saw in that reading with Meek that Puffy knew what was going on with the abuse of Nikki, and he even co-signed it because he liked for him to keep her in line. Allegedly, okay? So for Kim to turn around and say that Puffy would antagonize situations that would cause Big to abuse her, and he would incite violence in Big that would pour out on her. I knew that in that perspective, I had to read Kim because it's a pattern here, and patterns are not coincidences. So without any further ado, can somebody please go ahead and timestamp this reading for the 7-minute mark? And I thank you in advance for listening to me get all of that off, because it's a lot of backstory to this. It's way more than I can explain. But we're going to tap into Little Kim, Life After Puffy. All that glitters ain't gold. Alrighty. Show me the energy around Little Kim and Puffy. Spirit guides, what do we need to see? What do we need to know? Tap me in. Little Kim, Life After Puffy. Oh, wow. Wait a minute. I got to try that one all over again, y'all. To look like the cards exploded. So I already know. Oh, there's the sirens. Y'all know how it goes when sirens come in my reading. Hold on. I got to get out the chair to find the rest of these cards. So that right there is letting me know the energy between them from time to time not only was just tumultuous, it was explosive. For those of you who don't read tarot, who don't know anything about tarot, when you get a really good relationship with what you do, the messages come before you even start to put the cards on the table. So before it was all said and done, I mean, that says a lot. Very explosive. Okay, so first card out, Ten of Wands. Okay, Ten of Wands represents unsurmountable burdens. And as you can see, this person, literally, this is a dark angel. So dark angel, fallen angel, demon, you name it, okay? And this looks like, you know, a skyline that could be similar to New York, right? So here it is. This dark angel is carrying this woman who appears to not be in her full capacity into the night, okay? And that in itself is saying a lot, because the bottom of the deck, the Ace of Wands, she's holding an Ankh, and the Ankh represents fertility, okay? The top part of the Ankh represents the uterus. The bottom part of the Ankh represents the phallic symbol. Here is, like the ovaries, testes, okay? So the ankh represents when the union of woman and man comes together in sex and sexuality. That's a horrible sign for the first cards out of the reading. And I told y'all this was going to be explosive. So before I go any further, this reading is for entertainment purposes only, and trigger warning, trigger warning, trigger warning, just in case. Okay, so next card out, we have the Two of Cups in reverse, okay? And Two of Cups in reverse represents karmic love, a very toxic, horrible love affair, okay? This is the type of relationship that, is addictive, but in all the worst ways. So this is like, can't get enough, but it's toxic, it's chaotic, it's possibly ruining your life. But as you can see, these people are sitting here drinking. Now, interesting enough, they appear to be either at a bar or a very, very high-end house. Wherever they are, it looks very exclusive. And he's sitting here talking to her, but his bottle looks empty. Her bottle, baby, I don't know what this is he got her drinking. That looks like some kind of concoction or Pepto-Bismol or something, okay? Either way, it's in the reverse. So that's showing me that there was a negative connotation there with him and dating and the way that he involved himself in other people's relationships and dating. And also, that's an indicator, allegedly, of him doing things with drinks back then in the 90s, allegedly. Six of Wands at the bottom of the deck. Moving forward, towards victory. So it's like everything is good on the outside, success and money and accolades and critically acclaimed, right? But behind the scenes, life is chaotic. Everything is upside down. Like, tell me more. So we've got the Eight of Cups and the Three of Cups. So I want y'all to pay attention to how these bottles and potions keep popping up, okay? Hold on. I'm going to make sure y'all see everything. So Eight of Cups, walking away from, these parties or joyous situations. And this looks similar to the house that was at the Rock Nation brunch. So it's showing me that she separated herself from this scene, okay? So Kim may have known about the things that may have happened allegedly with spiking, drinks or cocktails, and avoided these types of situations because of possible things that could happen and rumors of things that could happen allegedly. And you got the Ten of Pentacles here. So this is letting me know that, there was a lot of money involved in these situations that happened at these parties. Okay. Bottom of the deck is the Death card, which also is a card for Scorpio. Now, zodiac-wise, Death represents Scorpio. We know that Puffy is a Scorpio, and once again, look at this woman who is in his care, okay? In his, I think that's right, in his care, who once again appears to not be able to be in her full capacity. First card out, we see him carrying a woman off that's not in her full capacity, allegedly, right? The first card with the dark angel, the fallen angel, that is flying through the city with this woman who is completely unaware. So we see this again. And then we see this man who obviously is wealthy and opulent, okay? And this is like, this is, wow. This feels like this is going to be the theme of who he is throughout the duration of her knowing him. Now, I'm not sure if she knew that he was about this type of energy when she first met him, but it became crystal clear early in them knowing each other some kind of way. Because it's like, this is like he had a resounding reputation for this type of behavior very early on. Six of Wands to the Nine of Pentacles. So, you know, she decided to stay independent of this man. He may have wanted her to sign to him or sign under him in some type of way, and she decided to stay independent and move forward. Now, for all of you who don't know, Little Kim was never signed to Bad Boy. She was never officially a Bad Boy artist. She was affiliated through Big. She was signed to a whole nother label. Okay? So it looks like at some point, Puffy wanted control over Kim in her career. So he couldn't get her to sign to his label, but he had her signed under management, okay? But he wanted more control. Whatever it was he had was not enough. And you got the Magician here. And a magician can be a trickster. So he was, you know, supposed to manifest different opportunities for her in her career. That was, you know, the energy that she thought that he was going to bring. He was going to help to increase, you know, her visibility and help to heighten the type of work that she was supposed to receive. Yeah, here's the Magician. But see, here's the thing. He, instead of helping to manifest, you know, things that would, you know, benefit her for days to come, for years to come, because you got the infinity symbol here. This man, remember this Ankh, okay? Because they use the Ankh several times in this deck, which I find to be very interesting, especially being that this is a vampire deck. This man, the way that he manifests is through this sacred energy between the womb and the phallus symbol coming together, okay? So, you know, he is a very, very hypersexual individual, and he learned somehow, some way, how to manifest out of that energy. Now, Scorpio is a sign that is ruled literally by its erogenous zone. And this is a man who is completely controlled by his erogenous zone, okay? Which is an unrequited offer, Four of Cups. So this is someone that really can't function without being in that lower vibration. This is how he moves through life. This is the energy that I'm getting. This is all of his decisions somehow starting in back at the same point through sex and sexuality. And it doesn't seem like he comes off that way at the very beginning, but when you figure this out, it's very prevalent. It's like a neon red flag, so to speak. Now, here's that Scorpio, Death. This woman who is not in her full capacity. He has control over her. He's sucking this woman dry, okay? And that's what vampires do. Emotional vampires, mental vampires. You know, hopefully you don't run across any physical vampires. But He was a vampire to her career. He literally juiced her career dry. He blocked opportunities for her more so than helping her to build her career. He siphoned her energy. Okay, that's the energy that I'm getting here. Allegedly, he siphoned her energy. Now, bottom of the deck, you've got the strength card. And usually the strength card means that you're being fortified. You're stronger than you were before, or you have strong assistance. But look at how this beast is superimposed over this woman. This is like blood in, blood out. Once again, siphoning this woman's energy. Queen of Swords. So Kim got a mouth on her. She a little firecracker. And see, Queen of Swords in the upright means that not only can she go there with you, you know, this is someone who goes there with facts. Okay? So she was cutting into him. She was getting back with him. And this is something that I feel that it's not even that he wasn't used to it. It's like this is something that he couldn't handle. It's like Kim dealt with him and spoke to him in a way that it feels like most men would be afraid to do. But she has such a calming, sweet energy to her as well. So it kind of threw him because he likes a tough cookie, but he hates hearing no. So it was always going to be a dilemma between the two because he always has to have the last word. He always has to be right. Things have to go his way. And it feels like, you know, she gave him room. She let him cook. She let him move the way he needed to move to represent her until she realized his representation was causing her issues far greater than if she would have possibly represented herself. So once again, here's another pattern, okay? How many people has he managed throughout his career or had a hand in, you know, their dealings, their affairs without stifling their career? If you look at Quincy wanted to act. Quincy was getting these acting jobs. Quincy had made it into, you know, the whole, what was that, Empire show, and he was, you know, getting his portfolio up. And then next thing you know, he's not really acting as much because Puff would keep intervening, and then eventually people wouldn't want to hire him. They wouldn't want to work with him because Puff was overbearing. So I'm seeing that as another pattern with him as well. This is something that he does anytime he gets comfortable, you know, working with someone. To keep that, it's, how do I explain this? To keep the person from outgrowing him, he has to put them in a position to always need him, excuse me. So when this person gets to a certain level of success, he feels like they don't need him anymore. So he always keeps them in a position to where they do good, but not better than him. If that makes sense. So now we've got the Five of Pentacles, okay? So Five of Pentacles under the Ten of Wands. Like I said, you know, he siphoned her. He cost her a lot. And Five of Pentacles is like, you know, not just the homeless card, okay? This is the card of also being ostracized, okay? Having, you know, people turn their backs on you. And this is where it looks like when things got really tough, when the situations really mattered, when Kim's back was really against the wall, Puffy was never there when she really needed him. He always found a way to have an exit right around the time that it felt like she was either having some kind of emergency, some kind of urgency. He always had a way of slipping in and out of a situation to where he gets everything he needs or wants for himself. And, you know, when it comes to you, baby, I wish you well. Very, very self-important, selfish person. Okay, let's see. Oh, that's a whole lot. That's a whole lot. Um, Spirit guide, should I simplify this or should I rock with it? Hold on. I'm going to acknowledge it either way it goes, because sometimes a whole story comes out like this. So we've got the Page of Pentacles, which represents new business ideas and ventures and collaborations here with the Three of Pentacles that were going to bring financial stability that was going to, you know, benefit Kim and all of her generations. We're talking about at least 4 generations of her family were going to be affected by this. Ace of Cups represents, you know, love and abundance. 7 of Cups, though, represents having to consider your options and not being quite sure about the direction that you're taking. And then you got the Fool, which is, you know, taking a leap of faith. Okay? Now, this leap of faith card, the Fool, this girl appears to be young and naive. She even appears to be out of place, because here it is. Why are you out here by yourself in the middle of the night, in the streets by yourself? And then you run into this rogue person, this bad boy with this rose. Now, roses are beautiful, but they have thorns. So it's like anything that he ever offers you, anything he ever gives you, it's a trick for a trade. There's always going to be thorns to it. It's nothing that actually feels like it is from a genuine place for the long haul. It's always going to be bittersweet is the energy that I'm getting. It, you know, you'll be like, oh my God, that's so dope, that's great. And then you find out that that was a consolation from a actual situation that would have been pivotal. So let's think about it. Remember, you know, for those of you who've seen this interview, Kim talked about how she got a phone call from Rodney Jerkins, Dark Child, who's a producer, used to be a very popular producer in the 90s, early 2000s, produced a lot of Brandy's music. Contacted Kim, told her that he was working with Michael Jackson. Michael Jackson loved her. He wanted her on his project. He loved the way she got in the pocket, how she rode the beat, right? She never even knew that this was a thing, that Michael actually wanted to work with her, until Rodney Jerkins contacted her. And the reason why is because Puff was handling everything for her, and he stonewalled this opportunity for her, blocking her from working with Michael Jackson. By the time she found out about it, it really wasn't much that she could do about it, because she missed the opportunity. So anything that she received after that would be a consolation prize, because the big kahuna would have been Michael Jackson. Kim would have literally had the biggest feature of her life working with Michael Jackson, and she would have become the biggest artist, hands down, on Puffy's roster with that feature. But because Puffy needed to keep her in a place where she needed him, he couldn't allow it to happen. He could not allow her to surpass him. So that's what I mean by bittersweet. So let's see. We've got the 8 of Pentacles, and it came out in reverse. It actually spent around, went in reverse twice. So 8 of Pentacles in reverse is like, yes, like I said, he was blocking work for her, and he was very karmic. Like, this working relationship between the two of them hurt her far more than it helped her. Why did Kim stay attached to Puffy so long if, you know, this relationship was so toxic and tumultuous. Oh, shoot. Cards flying off the table again. So here we go. Three of Wands. So as you can see, this man who looks a little like he hasn't been in the sun in a while back here in the back, that, you know, gives me the energy of someone that's in the ancestral realm, someone who's passed over. And you got the Three of Wands, represents opportunity. So it's like out of loyalty to Big, because she's very, very much so a person that's old school when it comes to loyalty. Even very street in that mentality. Death before dishonor. Okay? Her loyalty to Big and the good times that she felt like she obtained because of Big, because of him having faith in her career and discovering her, she stuck with what she felt was going to, you know, accent that loyalty. And Ten of Pentacles. She thought that it was going to be a healthy working relationship that was going to foster a lot of work, a lot of money, prosperous things. This was going to feel like family. Wow. Okay, so that's the bottom line. She wanted someone close to her that felt like family. So it almost comes off a little bit like an abandonment issue, someone who doesn't have any family or doesn't have, you know, a group of people that is solid around them that feels like family if they leave this dynamic. So Kim wanted to stay around what felt like family. This is the energy that I'm receiving. You know, I came into fame with these people. These people are like family to me, so she wanted to stay around family. But I feel like at times the communication could be very harsh with Puff. Very hot or cold. When he pops off, he pops off. Very argumentative at times. Eight of Wands, and this is what separated them very swiftly. It was like, you know, when things are good, it's great. When it's bad, it's unbearable. My spirit guides are channeling Aretha Franklin, A Rose. For those of you who don't know that song, A Rose is Still a Rose. Baby girl, you have the power, right? So she started to take her power back, and she started to speak up for herself, and she started to tell him how she really felt about things that were going on with her career and things that were to come, you know, with her career, things she wanted to do. And it felt like that shift is what started to really make things unbearable, because like I said, this is a man who doesn't cope well with the words no. He likes to be in control even if he doesn't know where you're going. So just think about being in a car with someone, right? And they like, you know, chill out, you know, I don't need GPS, I know where we're going, I go there all the time, right? And you're riding and you happen to see the same place for the third time, and it's like, excuse me, I'm gonna just go ahead and put in GPS, because I swear I've seen this same McDonald's at least 3 times. Don't tell me what to do, I don't need GPS. You know, whatever happened is what happened, and we gonna go with what I say we gonna go with. Well, eventually you're gonna get tired of going around in circles over and over and over and over again with this person. And it's like, look, course correct, use GPS so that we can actually get there, or I'm going to get out the car and choose another vehicle to get me to where I need to go. So this is the energy that I am getting around her career. It's like realizing after a while that this person is just stalling you out, and he's keeping you busy. And at first it's like, okay, I'm booked, I'm busy, and then you realize that he has you on his version of a high level chitlin circuit, if that makes sense, okay? Because, you know, there are people that watch me who possibly were not, you know, they were not alive. They weren't here during Little Kim's reign in hip hop. So they don't understand how big she was and how, you know, fashion gravitated to Kim. Like, the world was her oyster. Everybody wanted a piece of Kim and what she brought to the rap game. Like, her and Foxy were top tier. So you got to think about all the fashion houses and all the opportunities that were coming, that were reaching out for Kim during the biggest time of her career. And Puffy is turning down a lot of these offers, allegedly, without her knowledge, completely unbeknownst to her. So, you know, just think about, you're going to events, you're hobnobbing, you're having a great time, and people are coming up to you, be like, oh yeah, well maybe we can get you in next year. Oh great, yes, I would love to work with you next year. And then you find out that they said that to you because they actually wanted you in their spring fashion show. They wanted you on the runway, but they were told you weren't available. Now you can't tell them, you know, fuck you mean I wasn't available, because you don't want to throw your manager under the bus. But at the same time, you're standing there feeling some type of way because it's like, I could have been in this spring fashion show. I could have been over here in Milan and Paris ripping the runway. You know, just an example. You never even heard about it. So it's like, to find out in hindsight that it was an opportunity yet again, and you never even heard about it. You never were even given the right to accept or deny the opportunity. It was taken from you without you even knowing it. And it's like, rinse, wash, repeat. Going through this over and over and over and over again, and having to finally say, you know what, I can't keep letting you stifle me. Loyalty or no loyalty, you are messing up opportunities for me. So this feels like the point of contention. This is where a lot of arguing and a lot of negative things started coming in between them and their relationship. And this is where she decided to just move forward, push forward, be independent of him, because it's like, you know, I'm tired of arguing with you. And it feels like, y'all, this is weird. Like, he had an obsession with her to a certain extent. Like, he kept a tether on her, always, you know, had someone, whether she knew it or not, watching her. Page of Swords at the bottom of the deck. This is a person who treats everybody, woman, man, child, cat, bat, rat, as property and pawns on a chessboard. No one is an actual, how do I say this? It's like, he lacks humanity, okay? He doesn't look at people for people's sake. He looks at them for what they can do for him, like pieces of real estate. What are you worth? What do I have to invest in you to rehab you? Do I need to fix and flip you? Do I buy you cheap, sell you high? This is the way he looks at everything and everybody. Everybody in his life, even if it is family, employees, lovers, everybody is looked at as property, pieces of real estate. And he uses their energy of the people around him to manifest. This is all alleged, but this is the energy that I'm getting now. And it's like, he's manifesting things that are supposed to work and last for him for infinity with this magician card. So it's like, imagine the person who's supposed to help you persevere and navigate this industry is using you, if he can, in full perpetuity, okay, to make sure that his family never, ever goes broke. But your family is literally a rent payment away from not having anything. And you're never supposed to say anything. You're supposed to grin and bear it and be happy for the crumbs that are being spared to you. This is the energy that I keep getting around this situation. And the Empress. So, you know, she was always, you know, the one female in an all-guy crew. And the Empress is a woman who can bring things into fruition. She's a woman who can produce, a woman who can make things happen, a woman that can give birth to, you know, movements, projects, things of that nature. So he knew that Kim could produce. And then boom, she goes to jail, right? She's facing going to jail. And the death card, which represents Scorpio, it's a transitional card. Something has to end for something to begin. So he felt like, allegedly, this is the energy that I get because he's the Scorpio, right? He felt like once she went to jail, her time was up. She was over. She's a wash. I'm done with her. But here's the crazy thing. He's the reason why Kim, as big as she was not 10 times bigger, okay? So in your own way, I won't say he ruined her career, but I will say he siphoned and he stifled her career, okay? And for someone to pretty much bleed you dry, for whatever they can get out of you, to use you to siphon off of you. And this is another reason why he stifles the people that he works with, because he's siphoning their energy. He's very big on energy and uses of energy. He gorges on energy. It takes a lot of energy to help fuel the type of spirits that are on him. So he's constantly siphoning energy. And he felt like he needed a new supply. Okay, so that's how he got to Nikki. He felt like he had taken all he could take from Kim, and now Kim was going to be the new Nikki. Not in the sense of she was going to be the new queen bee. She was going to take over and be just like Kim, but he was going to take over her career and stifle her so that he can siphon from her as well. He was going to start that same cycle all over again. The abuse from the man that was close to them to try to keep you in check, to make sure that he kept control. Keeping the opportunities, what he felt to be fair, but not to exceed a certain amount of success so that you wouldn't get too big for your own britches. It's the same energy. Okay, so we've got this. Hold on. So we got the Two of Cups and the Ten of Cups. Now I want y'all to see how similar these cards are. Uh-oh. And it's so interesting to me how much this lady looks like Katy Perry. Random, useless thought. Okay? So remember I said Kim loved the idea of family and loyalty and keeping the family close, right? Two of Cups here. So my apologies, because earlier I thought this was the Two of Cups, but it's the Ten of Cups. But I still got the same message. So I'll continue with the channel. This was a very dysfunctional family situation for her, but Two of Cups, you know, still in all, she stayed because of the loyalty attached to who she knew was her soulmate, which is Biggie. And it's like it really didn't pay off for her the way that people thought, okay? It didn't at all, because this King of Swords, and the King of Pentacles. So it feels like, you know, when she got into the legal trouble, because the King of Swords can also represent, you know, law enforcement, high level law enforcement like the feds, or, you know, going before the courts, right? That really put her in a bind. It, you know, affected her finances, not just because, you know, lawyers are expensive, but her being away for a year changed the whole landscape of her career. And you got the Two of Wands here and the Nine of Swords. Okay, this is like, you know, having to make a choice attached to, you know, a lot of heavy anxiety. I don't know what it is about him. It's like the way that he vibrates, the energy that comes off of him, it literally, he vibrates off a energy of anxiety. And a lot of people that are around him have trouble sleeping. They have issues with feeling anxious, palpitations. And I don't think it's necessarily out of fear for him. But what most people don't understand is anxiety is actually not a bad thing. It's your body's warning signal to be aware of the energy that you are coming in contact with, and to be careful and to be heightened and aware of your surroundings. So now she's gone to prison. Okay, she's facing going to prison. Okay, and this person that she had worked with, considered family, dysfunctional family at that, honey, but still family, still the same. You know, it's like, okay, if I need to work, I need to do this, I need to do that, no matter what, we should still be able to work together. Whether I like you right now or not, I still see you as family. So think about that dysfunctional big brother. Y'all can't get along for shit, but that's still your brother, right? This feels like the energy between Kim and Puff. She looked at him as that dysfunctional big brother. We may not like each other, we may not get along, but that's still my family. And she's fiercely loyal to those who she sees as family. And, you know, she worked, she did all that she could up until she went to prison. So if you remember the Naked Truth album, Kim's last video that she put out was her preparing to go to lockup. And, you know, she did what was that? What was that video? That whoa, 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 my niggas. I can't think of what the song is called. I used to love that song. She was in like a museum. Okay, it was supposed to be doing like this heist. She was like a cat burglar, had on a cat suit, hair and makeup, you know, done and whatnot. Real cute concept. And when it was all said and done, it was like she pulled her last heist, and then, you know, had her girl to take her and drop her off at the feds so that she could do her bid. That was the way that she did her rollout for the album, so that the album could excel while she was locked up. And whatever was supposed to happen with her album and the proceeds and things like that, that would definitely have her, you know, in a good space when she gets home, it wasn't as good as it should have been. She had people, a lot of people that were close to her that were betraying her, and the type of betrayals that you can't come back from. So all these people that she was loyal to, she, at this point in time in her life, she's finding out that these people are not as loyal to her as she is to them. One of the biggest people to turn their back on her and during this time when she went to prison was Puff. Tell me more. So now you've got the Two of Wands that represent a choice, right? So, you know, here it is. Someone walking away from you. Three of Cups represents, you know, idle gossip, as well as jovial, you know, good times, partying, being very social. And then you, down here, you've got that Three of Wands in reverse. So remember what I just said. Puffy felt like, oh, it's a wash. She's done. She went to prison. You know, it's no sense in me even worrying about being bothered with you. It's over for you anyway. Like yeah. I don't even know this man, and I promise you, from doing these readings, I would not mind breaking my nails, punching him in the face. I really wouldn't, because it's like, how do you play with somebody like this? How do you mess up people's money, mess with their careers, and then sit in their face and pretend to be oblivious when everybody in the room knows that you move snake like no denying that you are a snake. Everybody in the room knows it, but if anybody is to check you or call you on it, an example has to be made. Okay, what is this? So here it is, the Four of Pentacles. Okay, so like I said, she decided that she had to separate, she had to leave, she had to do whatever she had to do to get herself from up under his wing, his tutelage. Okay, and she had to do this for, you know, her own stability. Like, she stuck with him, being stubborn as long as she could, because she has this really strong idea of family, the family she never had, the family she always wanted, always wanting family close. I never really had family like that, so I gravitate towards what feels like home, what feels like family. And she really had to just finally tear herself away from this person to move forward so that she can build wealth for her generations. Okay, so she comes home from prison, and it's like, I'm going to move forward, I'm independent. And this is where she starts facing a lot of opposition when it comes towards who she's going to work with, who she's going to collaborate with. And I want you to see that these people look very high level and, you know, top secret. So these aren't your regular people. These are people in the industry behind the scenes, like movers and shakers, people who really make things happen. And it feels like there's some kind of tension here. What is this tension here after she gets out and she decides to go about her career in a different way? Look at here, the Fool. If this is not befitting, baby. So allegedly, okay? It's looking like Mr. I Cut a Fool sometimes was possibly muddying the water to make it hard for Kim to move around. Now, I don't know if she even knows this or is abreast of this. Kim seems to be someone that is very tapped in, like she feels vibes, and if the vibe is off, just out of survival mode. I trust my instincts. Um, and you got the Nine of Swords here, which is like heavy anxiety. So look at this person resting, and this individual creeping up on them like an entity at the foot of the bed. It's like, here it is, she's at rest, and he's manipulating things while she's away, while she's locked up. So if, oh wow, y'all, I was trying to make sure I was right before I said this, because I saw this and I didn't want to say this and speak out of turn. But what it feels like is, not only did he sign Nikki to management to be what feels like spiteful to Kim, he was poisoning the water through conversation, business wise for Kim, which made it hard for Kim to work when she came home, because he didn't expect Kim to rebound. And the reason why he didn't expect Kim to rebound is because he put out silent communication, wink wink, allegedly, for people to distance themselves and not work with him. So it wasn't that he felt that Kim was actually done when she went to prison, her career was over. He felt like in his own way he was pulling the plug on her. She was no longer necessary. and he was going to make sure that she couldn't compete with the person that he signed, because he has this whole God complex about him, this rock with me or rock against me, or you ain't with me, so I'll make sure that if you don't work with me, you don't make money. So this feels like he silently blacklisted Kim and made it hard for her to work, made it hard for her to move around, even possibly may have allegedly gave incentives to people to not work with Kim, because Kim was not a part of his. Oh, they, y'all, my spirit guide says stable. Kim was not a part of his stable. So because he couldn't use Kim the way that he wanted to, he couldn't put Kim in the positions that he wanted to put her in. Kim is, she wasn't going. It's only so much she's gonna do. And he felt like, okay, you're not gonna keep letting me take control, take the reins. I don't care if I mess shit up. Is right because I did it. I don't care how wrong it is. It's right because I did it. Because she wouldn't bow down to him in his form of idol worship, he allegedly pumped the brakes on people working with her because he couldn't control the flow of what was going on with her. Damn, damn, damn. Starting to see why Kim is so damn angry. And it's not like just being mean and mean spirited. It's a righteous anger, because there's so many things that have happened to Kim that she can't speak about, things that people would feel are possibly impossible and highly improbable, but nonetheless true. But I do not get that she got a spirit of fear when it comes to him. She actually fears him less than most of the men who've come in contact with him, and it's something to where it feels like it's appealing, but he hates it. And with that being said, it's almost like in that respect, Kim and Nikki are similar. They both couldn't just be railroaded. So here it is. He's giving, you got the offers, right? Like I said, Knight of Cups represents offers, not just romantic offers, but, enticing offers, kind offers in business, like offering the olive branch. So he may have wanted the public to think that he was offering an olive branch to Kim. I apologize. Y'all, this is a person that, somebody's narcissistic when they don't know how to apologize. The type of person that said, well, I'm sorry you feel that way, instead of actually telling you that they apologize for their actions and behavior. Which mean they ain't sorry worth a damn, because how can you apologize to me for how I feel, but not apologize for what you've actually done? So think about when Puffy came forward and he did that interview with Dirty Money, and he spoke about the whole Kim and Nikki thing, and he was saying that pretty much he was trying to make it seem like everything was cool. I still got love for Kim. I'm working with Nikki, and everything is cool. Everything is this and everything is that. But it looks like the main problem between Kim and Nikki, believe it or not, I said this in a live, y'all, it's the men. Puffy played a major role in between these two women not getting along. He's not the only man, but he's one of the more pivotal. Nine of Swords. So he wanted to make her uncomfortable. He wanted to make her uneasy. He didn't like the fact that she spoke out about him, his behavior, him, leaving her out, to wither away, not contacting her, not putting anything on her books, never sending a letter. He hated the fact that she exposed the truth about him. okay? And he wanted her to lose sleep. He wanted her to feel anxiety. He wanted her to pay for what she said. Whether it was true or not, I control the narrative for how people see me. I don't care that I'm a demon, an archdemon at that. You just don't tell anybody I'm a demon. So that's the energy that I get. He was very upset with her about sharing how he wasn't there for her in one of her worst times, and he wanted her to feel it, allegedly. Lord, this man got all types of cars doing cartwheels. Yeah, he hated the fact that, she told everybody about how he betrayed her, because he wanted people to think that everything was all grits and gravy. This represents stability, engagement. Like, we still deal with everything, with each other. Everything is good, right? We still kick it. We're still like family. That's the illusion that he wanted to give off. So long before he became Brother Love, he already was in the mindset of people thinking that he represented love, even though he didn't, and never does, never have, never will. So she took that from him, okay? He hated the fact that she took that from him. She wouldn't allow him to be the knight in shining armor that he wanted us to believe that he was. She kind of took a pin and popped his bubble, okay? But he couldn't let people see, how far she had gotten up under his skin, nor could he let people see how right she was in her assessment. Lord. Yeah, he needed people to think that everything is all love. It's all good. Even though, he's stewing and brewing on the inside. Remember, I told you, here's the devil. They're bound together, but through toxicity. This is a man who wanted to keep her tethered to him and his brand and his style of doing things through all types of negative measures, okay? Very forceful person, allegedly. And this led to 5 of Cups because, you got to understand, Kim's been through a lot of stuff. So this is not her first time at the rodeo when it comes to an abusive man. And when you have become, unfortunately, accustomed to being mistreated, especially at a young age, it affects your ability to know your worth. But even though it affected her ability to know her worth as far as self-esteem was affected, throughout childhood and her teenage years and her young adult years, she still had a fire in her that could not be quenched. It couldn't be put out. And that's what he wanted to do. He wanted to put out that fire. He wanted to break her. He wanted to make her sorry. He wanted to make her realize that nothing happens, nothing works unless it comes through me. You want stability, you've got to come through me. You've got to engage with me. 4 of Wands. And you see that woman was like trapped in a cage for her stability. That's really what he wanted through the Knight of Wands. So we know, a lot of Kim's music is provocative. So here it is. She's performing. She's a rock star. And, this is the level that Kim was on. Kim wasn't seen as a regular rap girl. She was seen as someone who was on another level, especially like in the 90s to the early 2000s. So once again, like I said, pay attention to how they keep using these ankhs, because the ankh stands for section sexuality. So this person performing, okay, they're rocking out, but they're performing something that is provocative, something that, puts you in the mind of sex sales, right? And that was a big part of her marketing, a big part of the ploy around her. So, 7 of Pentacles. What he didn't expect was for Kim to fight back and to start investing in herself. Five of Wands at the bottom of the deck. Like I said, she's a very, very fiery spirit. And it's like, I may not have the success that I had working with you, but you can't hold a good one down. I'm going to get to the money. I'm going to grind. I'm going to hustle. I'm a real one. I'm going to still get it out the mud. I'm going to get it out the street. So here it is. She goes independent, which he thought was going to crush her. It was going to ruin her because she would never be on the level that she was on again, and he was going to see to it. Allegedly, 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 she still went out here and got it out the mud. And he just couldn't believe that she wouldn't stop, even though he knew that he was stifling her and putting roadblocks, sometimes cinder blocks, in the middle of her career pathway. Yeah. So when it came to collaborations and people that, you know, she wanted to work with, she wasn't getting the true information behind the scenes about what was happening with these collaborations and contracts, negotiations, and agreement. So even though she's not working with him anymore, he's still doing the same thing, where he's controlling the narrative, stopping her from having larger collaborations, allegedly. This is so dirty. Yeah, here's the collaborations, the lovers. But see, the lovers represents choice. So he figured, you know, you made your choice and I made mine. You want to go against me, you know, you're going to have, I'm going to make sure you don't eat. I'm going to make sure you get froze out. I'm going to make sure you know it's real cold outside. So, wow. You know, you taking this leap of faith, you leaving me. So he doesn't like for people to leave him. So he can treat you like, I'm trying to watch my language on here. He can treat you like dog crap, okay? But you're supposed to be happy to be in his presence, whether you're being treated like crap or not, okay? Lord. Seven of Wands. Like I said, she pushed through. She fought. She persevered. She stood up for herself. She defended herself. And this is like even against all odds. So think about some of those radio interviews now, if you look back on it, where it seems like she's, you know, bitter. She's defensive. She's being spicy. It feels like Kim had the idea or the spiritual inclination that let her know that some of these people she were interviewing with were on the take, okay? Allegedly, they were a part of the blacklisting, the black, wow. My spirit guides are saying she was the Nikki hate train before Nikki hate train was a thing. And it's like she knew this, but she still had to push through. She had to persevere. She still had to do her PR, her marketing for her project. She still had to make her rounds, regardless of the fact that she knew some of these people were playing in her face because they were a part of this huge umbrella that this man had. But she was going to stand 10 toes down regardless in their face. They weren't going to stop her. She was going to persevere. And you've got the Four of Swords here. And this Four of Swords falls under the Death card and the Nine of Swords. Remember I said he wanted her in a position to where she would be in anxiety. She would, you know, be restless. She would work hard and it would be frivolous and fruitless. That he would bring her career to a rest. Okay? Yeah, he wanted to bring a rest to her Wheel of Fortune. All because of energy from the past. So it's weird because it's like I'm getting the energy of somebody who could tell you like, bitch, I made you, I'll break you. But in all sincerity, he doesn't have the right to feel entitled to even be able to say he made Kim, because the person who helped to shape Kim the most, especially as an artist, was no longer here. So it's like he's taking credit for the work that Big put into Kim, but he also was behind a lot of the hatred and mistreatment of Big towards Kim. And this is where the parallels come with Kim and Nikki. It's almost like he got off on encouraging these men to be abusive. Yeah, this is weird. I'm channeling, like, so y'all follow me with this one, okay? So imagine being on a plantation, okay? And there's different tiers when it comes to the workers on the plantation. And you got the ones in the field, you've got the ones in the house, okay? And then you have the ones that work as personal assistants to the master, right? This man has a very, very, very dark, strange attachment to where if he was born in another time, I could literally see him as a slaver, a slave master, because this is the way he drives people. This is the way he treats people. Everybody, remember what I said, everybody is property. That's the word, y'all. Everybody is chattel. No one really has what feels like humanity to him. This is a man who lost his humanity a long time ago, so he doesn't really look at people in the same way that most people look at people in a general sense. Everything is a pawn, chattel, property. Like he feels like he owns people. And once he owns you, he always owns you. No matter how far away you go, no matter what you do, you are always his chattel. So when you think about that type of energy and you think about all the different, ones that he has on his plantation, okay? Some are in radio, some are in television, some are in fashion. Well, here it is. He's gaining and collecting more and more and more and more people or chattel, okay? And he's using all of these different components to corner markets and to have control. So it feels like he used a lot of shadow figures that are a part of, his marketing, his, control. People who feel like they rather be in than out. So a lot of people chose to be a part of his plantation movement versus going against his agenda, his narrative. And then you have the fallout, the temper tantrums, you losing your job, you getting fired from the radio or television. It's better to go with them than against him, okay? Whoever went against him, they never worked the same way again. It's not that they don't work, but the work is no longer consistent again. It's no longer as big as it used to be, as profitable as it used to be. And it feels like this energy that is around Kim was done multiple times over throughout her career, throughout the industry, and it's done to several different people. These patterns, the more that you hear these stories, the more that you're going to hear about these patterns of the same type of control issues, the same type of inability to accept rejection, or his inability to allow people to move around and breathe comfortably. Everyone has to bow down and kiss the ring. This is the energy, right? Well, Kim was like, I'll be nice, I'll oblige, but I'm not bowing down, I'm not kissing the ring. So it feels, all of this, it feels like because she wouldn't bow down, because she wouldn't kiss the ring, because she wouldn't kiss his ass. He wanted to break her. And the best way he felt that he could break her was to take someone that he knew was a sense of soreness for her and use that person against her. And that would be Nikki. Unfortunately for Nikki, he would turn around and do all the types of things that he did to Kim to her. But Nikki had a more supportive group around her that was willing to stand with her and speak up on her behalf. So had Nikki not have been signed to Young Money, she may have went the same way as Kim. But she had some people on her side that could push back just as hard or even harder than Puffy. And that was her saving grace. So I'm going to leave this reading here because I feel like it's long enough. I didn't know how this reading, how deep this reading was going to go, because I knew it was like an onion. It's so many layers. And I still feel like I only scratched the surface. But I guess from this point on out, we'll leave the rest for Kim to tell. With that being said, spirit guides, angels, and ancestors of the highest heavenly order, please take this energy with you and close the portal behind you, sealing the portal, keeping all this energy out of my house. And many prayers and blessings to Kim, Nikki, and Foxy, because they went through a lot in this industry by the hands of the men that they had to go through to get to where they needed to be. Shout out to them. And in the words of the great Queen Latifah, ladies first. And this reading is adjourned. Many blessings to all of the people who escaped this man's grasp and was able to move on with their life and do whatever they needed to do to keep their integrity intact while paying the bills. Because Lord knows this is not a man that is heavily steeped in integrity, for sure. And he doesn't care about taking, breaking, or stealing the integrity of others, allegedly. So I thank you all for your viewership and support. And many blessings to all of you. And this reading is adjourned. Life After Puffy, number 16, Little Kim. All that glitters ain't gold.